It is a Tuesday morning, October the something, I don't know, 10th maybe. Chilly morning. I decided instead of making apple pie filling or applesauce with these Enterprise apples, I am going to make canned apples. Stan's idea, he's like, well, I would eat those like I'd eat pears, and we didn't have very many pears this year. So, oh, and as you'll see out here, the beans have been, I think they finished yesterday. Beans have been harvested. I did cover up, oh look, it's almost sunrise. Boy, it's cold out here. I should have worn gloves. I covered up although it didn't frost, I picked a whole bunch of those grape tomatoes yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, I covered the Mad Hatter and I covered the basil. And then, but it looks like they survived. I think we've got one more cold night. Okay, let me finish picking these apples before my hands freeze off. Still going, still going. So yesterday I made applesauce out of the Fuji apples in the Instapot. I'm not going to post that video. That was a big mistake. It was runny, it got dark, tasted like baby food. I mean, I doctored it up. I spiced it up with some apple pie spice and canned it. I'll use it as topping for pancakes or waffles. But then I made some on the stove, much better, thicker, a nice pretty like yellowish color. So not gonna do that again. Well, okay, all done. That did not take long. This is the first year that this apple tree has really produced more than just, 2 or 3 apples. We've never had this many apples off of a little tiny tree like that before. It is an Enterprise. When I get in the house and my hands have thawed, I will sort through them because it is a good keeper apple. So if there's some that are nice, like this one, I will put them in the crisper drawer and then I'll can the other ones. Okay, that's a good morning's work. Now wait, I'm just getting started. Let's go. These Enterprise apples are nice and firm, and so I've been able to use, not like pears where I couldn't really use the apple peeler. I've been able to use the apple peeler. I cut the top and bottom off and then use the apple peeler and then quarter them. I have the syrup in here and it's not very sweet. I think it was 8 cups of water to 1 cup of sugar, and I'll put them in there and then put them in the cans and process them for 20 minutes. Right, we've mixed in some Fuji in this because if the apples are small and they have imperfections on them, they're not really worth peeling. So peel them, take the core out. I have a nice pan full here. See how that citric acid water has kept them nice and white? Now I just have to boil them for 5 minutes and put them in the jars. Okay, and once again my big slotted scooper thing comes in real handy for this. So as soon as I get all of them in here, that's why I want to have it enough before I start the boiling. You don't want some half cooked. As soon as this gets full, or I've used all, whichever comes first, boil them for 5 minutes and put them in the jars, which are in the dishwasher right now getting sterilized. This is just about right, looks like. Okay. Let's turn the timer on. This just reminds me, do people still bob for apples? Is that still a thing? Let me know. I think there's too many apples in here to bob for apples. Well, I've done it again. After 5 minutes of boiling, who knew it was going to make that much foam? This is crazy. It kind of spilled over a little bit. Maybe I filled it too full. Now I'll just fill the jars. So probably what I'll do is scoop up the apples, put them in the jars, and then pour the syrup over. Let's see. Kind of interesting look there. And this is the official end of canning season. Oops. Here we've got it, the official end of canning season. So the first apples I did, see they are more cooked, more yellow, a little bit more mushy. I think some of those had the John Gold and Fuji mixed in. And then on the other hand, Enterprise, they took a lot longer to cook, and I'm still afraid they're maybe not cooked long enough. Such a difference in apples. And then I had some Fuji at the end that were really ugly, and so I just turned them into spicy, chunky, just mashed them with a potato masher, applesauce. And now I'm done. Oh, let's go over here. So now this is my official list of everything I canned and froze this year. Pretty impressive. Well, this is the end. I picked a dishpan full of poblanos and jalapenos and another dishpan of green peppers and some red sweet peppers, red bell peppers. We'll see. I found a recipe for green tomato chili that was good, and they might ripen a little bit. And then I picked these the biggest picking of grape tomatoes I've had. I know a lot of them aren't ripe, but I'm thinking maybe they'll get ripe enough, and they are pretty sweet. So that's it. I covered up the Mad Hatter peppers, and I covered the basil, and I covered my aloe. We'll see.